Hello, I'm Adam Clery, and believe it or not, you're watching Media Spotlight UK. Good choice.
Hey guys, it's Aatif here from Media Spotlight UK. Very excited to be sitting here with Mr. Adam Clery of What Culture. How are you, Adam?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you, man. It's nice to see you. You've been spending a lot more time on camera now
I have,
for What
yes.
Culture.
It almost feels comfortable.
Hey, do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, I had many jobs in the past where I
Yeah.
did a bit of camera stuff, so I wasn't sweating buckets or, letting every fluid leak out of my skin. But yeah, I mean, it's been nice, I guess. I was always filling in the past, but
Well,
now
I
it's kind
know.
of like...
The first time we saw you do a lot of it was when you were talking about Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And that was I watched all of those. I was like, oh, that's really fun.
What, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you.
I did. It was fun. I enjoyed Game of Thrones and the kind of recaps you did.
My mum says you can actually see me getting better from like the first one to the last one. So you were rubbish. You were hopeless that first one. Man. Thanks, Mum. You're good now.
Constructive criticism is the way forward. So today, obviously, and I can see by your hoodie, we're here for a Defiant Wrestling show. This is very exciting. Defiant Wrestling is the successor or the rebranded version of What Culture Pro Wrestling. Why the rebrand from What Culture Pro Wrestling to Defiant Wrestling?
Is it I don't know if is it a rebrand, a successor? I'm never really sure what to say.
Relaunch?
It didn't go away.
Just a new thing?
Yeah, just it's the new name.
Yeah.
Can you swear on this?
You can if you like.
Say what shit. You know how it is. Good shit though.
It is good shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you're aware, we launched WCPW without any idea of what we wanted to do or what it was going to be. We just thought, we've got all these wrestling fans who watch our stuff. How else can we make content for them?
Uh-huh.
And we did all the YouTube stuff, and when we weren't wrestlers, we just thought, what if we did a wrestling show? What if we did one wrestling show?
Uh-huh.
If we just got some location in Newcastle, got a load of cool wrestlers, and did one wrestling show. We'll call it something stupid like What Culture Pro Wrestling. And it's
on the TV, a long series, like pay-per-views, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it did. I was going to say a lot better than we thought it would. Did a lot better than we wanted it to. Because all of a sudden we had this we should actually we can't just not do any more of these. We're going to have to keep this going.
You've made a wrestling company.
Yeah, we had these stories, and people by the time we got to our first pay-per-view, people were like, "This is actually all right." Yeah. So we kept it going, and then we kind of had to go from just. It was a silly, as with everything we do, it was a silly thing on YouTube we were trying, and then all of a sudden we had to start trying to take ourselves very seriously as a wrestling company and start to, respect the business and respect the way things are done. And all this time we've got this huge thing at the side that just says What Culture Pro Wrestling, and the name shouldn't be that big a deal. I think we found our identity quite quickly, but I think the problem we had was it just. With every show, all the branding, everything, we just still said this is a daft YouTube thing, and we still had all these associations with the channel and things were going on there. And we're still we're taking the piss out of wrestling on this YouTube channel.
Sure.
And we're doing these silly challenges, and we're breaking all this news about WWE. And then later on in the week, we're trying to do very serious, be very businesslike, run things properly. And it always felt the longer it went on, the more it kind of clashed. Initially, it was one and the same thing, but the longer it went on, it just kind of felt that they didn't really sit well next to each other.
I
and because
understand.
they had the same name, because they shared the name, it became a bit, one was at odds with the other. And we constantly battled with, well, do we just change what we do with the promotion to make it more like the channel, or do we stop doing certain things on the channel to be better for the promotion? In the end, a good couple of months ago now, I think in the summer, we did a run of 5 shows in the summer, and just somewhere in the middle of that, I think, we all just decided, that's it, we have to rebrand this.
And the idea, obviously, so it makes sense now from a viewers or a fan's perspective that one is a very serious wrestling company and one is
not too serious.
Not too
Otherwise,
serious.
you wouldn't be talking to me.
No, but then we've also got a kind of fun YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which is more fun and more lighthearted, almost satirical look at wrestling. Whereas the action is anything you didn't expect at a top independent promotion. And speaking of which, you get some amazing talent. I mean, recently you've had Stu Bennett, formerly Wade Barrett, on the show.
My new boss, technically.
Your new boss, technically, general manager of Defiant Wrestling, on the show tonight that we're going to see at the Coronet. We're going to have Austin Aries, some amazing talent that have spent time at WWE, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, so all over the world. How does it feel to be able to work with these amazing performers?
It's still really surreal. The first show we did, we got a lot of really good British talent. Who some of us were familiar with some of them. We'd been to local shows. We roughly knew who some of them were. But I remember that the first show, the guy who was booking for us went, "I can get you Jay Lethal," and we were like, "Get us Jay Lethal for what?" For the show. And we're like, "No, you can't. How can you get us Jay Lethal? We're not a company yet." He's like, "No. Like they're just contracted performers. Like
and he was a Ring of Honor world champion at the time.
He's available.
Yeah.
He'll work for the Indies. If you can pay his fee, you can have him. It's that simple. And we were like, wow, okay. And then I think we probably got a bit guilty over the next few months of getting slightly drunk on that concept. Go, who can we have? Yeah, him. Yeah, great.
Well, it's like you're living the dream of any kind of wrestling fan that's watching, in the sense that you're able to book and temporarily employ these guys.
We did do sort of fantasy matches because we wanted to make this as big and as eye-catching as possible. Partially because we didn't see any point in doing it small, and partially because we are in a really cool phase for British wrestling at the minute. But the shows, British wrestling shows, have a certain size that they know they can come to be filled without taking a huge financial risk, and we felt we were in the position where we could get a bigger venue,
sure,
and we could get bigger stars, and we could get bigger crowds, and we could still put these same amazing guys on these bigger shows, and hopefully, the guys deserve 100% of the credit for their own careers.
Of course,
but if we could give them a platform that maybe they wouldn't have had otherwise, if we can contribute to their careers in some way like that, we kind of felt not duty bound, but it felt like a really important thing for us to do.
And so that talent, as you say, a lot of it has progressed. Big Damo started out with WCPW. Now, obviously,
Damo did not start out with WCPW.
Okay, well, he was with you guys. He was with you guys.
He was our first champion. He had our silly little toy belt before we got it remade.
But doesn't it feel nice that people kind of progress, and there's other talent? Wouldn't it be nice to see more of your stars kind of making their way up the ranks and eventually performing at the top level, which is WWE?
No, it wouldn't.
No,
because then they leave and we've got to completely redecide what we're going to do.
You almost become like a feeder promotion at that point.
No, I want them to get to this exact perfect level of success where people will come to our shows to see them, but they're not quite good enough to get. I'm only joking. No, it's when we see people go to the quote-unquote big leagues, we get an enormous sense of pride for them, because we see how hard these guys work every single show. Like, they come and they put their bodies on the line for us to entertain like all these crowds, and to see them. It's not everybody's dream to go to somewhere like WWE or NXT, but for a lot of them it is, because they want to be at the highest level of their industry, and that is, for right or wrong, the highest level. So when we see guys go there, when we see WWE had a tryout.
Of course, before the UK shows.
Yeah, they have loads of tryouts. People can go 10, 15, 20 times before they ever hear anything back. But to see, like, Roxy was there, Primate was there, and these are people we've had from our very first few shows. I was like, they really deserve that. I was really happy for them, and they come back. They're like, "Oh, what WWE?" And they pick up stuff when they're there. They learn stuff. It improves them. So yeah, we love to see people be successful. We just want them to be successful. We're quite selfish.
Well, it's growing. It's been rebranded. It's very exciting. Let's switch tags and talk about What Culture again, if we can. How much fun is it making top 10 lists?
It's a lot harder work than it looks.
Well, take me through the start to the finish of making a top 10 list.
The process of doing a top 10 list, it's a couple of days. Every one of them's a couple of days in the making. Usually what will happen is we've had a website for 10 years now, which has predominantly always been lists. We have an amazing pool of writers who have done some great stuff. And what we do now is, unless something happens on that day that we want to do a list on, we'll write it ourselves. But normally we look in our big pool of articles and we go, right, what would be cool? What would make a good video? And we pick one, and we get in touch with the writer and we say, look, we're going to adapt this for video. Any tips? Anything that's changed? Anything you want updated? And then we rewrite. Sort of, it's like a 2,000 word article. We turn it into like a 1,200 word script.
Okay.
So we rewrite it, adapt it, take little bits here and there, and sort of update it. And then we book a slot in the studio. We've only got one studio, and it gets very full.
Even after all this time, just the one studio?
Just the one studio.
There's 18 What Culture channels now.
Well, look, if either of our bosses are watching this, please give us that second studio space. It's just the acoustics and stuff we had when we moved into this office. We had one studio custom built with all soundproofing, so it sounds great when you record audio. We tried recording stuff in other parts of the office where it's quiet. It never sounds the same.
No, I suppose not. All that soundproofing is there for a reason.
Yeah, so we go in there with a script. We record the voiceover. Normally it's every line sort of can take 2 or 3 takes. You might not be happy with it. You might rewrite stuff as you're going. So like a 7-minute voiceover ends up being about 15 minutes of raw footage. And then those of us that are really canny, those of us that are nice, like me, we'll go and we'll cut it down ourselves. And we'll cut down into the finished voiceover we want. Some people, not naming any names, Jules, will just send it straight over to the editor and go, there you go.
What, the Southwest Savage?
The Southwest Savage, yeah. He's a main offender for just sending poor, overworked editors 15 minutes of unedited footage of him going, and that is, no, I don't like that. And that is, no, why can't I get this? And that is,
Oh man!
And then the editing team,
Got to put some more time in. Jules, come on, man.
He's overworked. He's overworked his ears, while his hair fell out. Then we'll send it to one of our many talented video editors who can take anything from 2 days to 3 days if it's quick, or sometimes if stuff needs a bit of feedback or we get tweaks, up to however long it takes them.
And that's how long it takes to.
It takes
put the whole thing together.
It's 7 minutes for people to watch, but it takes if you factor the time in, it probably took let's say it took right half a day to do it, then probably another half day to cut it down. Then about half an hour to record it, and then a couple of days to edit. It's a full week-long process for one list.
And when you're not making list videos or watching stuff, you've got to travel around and do all these shows.
Or doing news on camera, or we go into the shows, or do the magazine.
How many shows a year is Defiant Wrestling in a run?
Oh, God, I've tried to count how many we were. This is our first 2017 was our first full year, because we started back end of 2016. I think we must have done about 25, 30.
Wow.
This year.
That's pretty cool.
I don't even know how many shows.
And then obviously a lot of them break down into loaded episodes and stuff. Or previously.
Yeah, we like each show we go and do, we like to be about 3 episodes worth at the minute. So we're recording 3 episodes tonight
here at the Coronet.
Which is quite difficult trying to get the time. Like, right, when you're doing a promo, you have to say last week. Right? I know it was 20 minutes ago, but it was last week. We're constantly on the headset.
The joy of tapings.
We know this match is coming up in 15 minutes, but you've got to say, join us next week for this match. So that's
fantastic, and the audience has to try not to give it away as well. Well, listen, Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you. It's nice to be on this side of it with you guys.
It is. It's fun, right? It's fun because we just like, as wrestling fans, we just like absorbing content, and like you guys at What Culture produce some great content. So we're very excited about seeing more from Defiant.
Yes, me too.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show tonight, guys. Remember, you can find Defiant Wrestling on YouTube. You can find, of course, What Culture and its many, many channels on YouTube. And remember, of course, to subscribe to Media Spotlight UK for loads on all sorts of entertainment stuff. My name's Aatif Nawaz. This is Adam Clery. We'll see you soon.